It's took 6 years to do this rebuild alone. That's a long time to be without your favourite car, a long, long time. The first time I drove it after having it in so many pieces, I was actually in tears. It was, you know, that emotional, because it means that much to me. You know, this car means more to me than anything else at all. I don't care about anything else other than this car. You know, it really, really touches a soft spot in me. So I'm Jake, and I've got a 1969 Volkswagen Beetle. It's red, and I found it in a barn. My dad got me into racing karts. I'd raced karts from about 8 years old till I was 13, and then I wanted a car, and my mum had just bought a Beetle, so I wanted a Beetle because I quite liked it. My dad actually had a word with his mates at work, and one of them said, "Oh, I think I've got one of them in my barn." And that's how it started. We went round there and I bought it, and that was it. When I got my car, it had obviously been sat in a barn for 10 years. So there was parts here, there and everywhere all the way through the barn. I had to go searching for all the parts. There was a dead mummified cat behind the engine. It was all in a million pieces like a jigsaw, and I had to learn how to put it back together. When I first got the car, I just wanted to get it on the road, to be honest. And then my dad, when I did get it on the road, my dad, because I didn't pass my test straight away, my dad insured it and drove it for a couple of years for me. Took me out in it quite a few times. And then I saw all the rest of the Volkswagens and what have you going really, really low. So as soon as I passed my test, I started lowering it. And now can't get any lower. The story behind my car is basically, I wanted to keep it looking relatively original, be absolutely on the floor with the biggest wheels possible, that no one else could fit in the arch that I've managed to. I wanted to do something that no one else had done. I liked certain styles of different years and different pieces from different cars, and I took inspiration from so many different cars, it was unreal, and different car cultures as well. Like I've got the JDM wheel nuts, and then I changed all the lights to LED. It's got a Type 4 2-litre engine in it, which I've only recently got in it. It's on full custom air suspension that I've built myself, fully tubbed arches, 6-inch narrowed front beam, flat floor pans, body dropped all the way around, engine and gearbox have been lifted. The steering is custom made as well, because I didn't want the old steering box. I'd changed to a rack and pinion steering, more modern, and it's a bit nicer feel, less play in it. The engine is a Type 4 2-litre. It came out of a T25 panel van. I've actually bought 3 engines in the process of trying to build one good engine, because the thing with Type 4s is they ruin the cams as standard. So every Type 4 that you buy second hand is ruined normally. So at the minute, I've cobbled together 3 engines with some new parts that works all right, and it runs and drives. It'll do for now, it'll do for a season or 2. But it's got twin dual auto carburetors on it, upright tinware conversion that I did all myself, which is you actually have to cut off a piece of the cast block on the top of the engine to get a flat surface to bolt a alternator to, like an original Beetle engine where it's got it on top and the fan shroud. So I've had to make some of the parts to do that, and it's not something that you should do with a grinder and a file, but I did it. The wheels are 17-inch radars with 185/35/17 tyres. You get them as standard in black with a polished lip that's covered in lacquer. And everyone either you can either get them black centres, chrome centres, or polished centres, and everyone just leaves them standard. So I wanted to do something a bit out of the box. So for a start, the 17s on a Beetle that's on the floor, that's something you don't see. And then the other thing is, I've painted the centres cream and I've had the lips mirror polished up to the spokes, because normally they're only polished an inch in. So now I've got a bigger polished lip than all the other sets of radars that are out there, but they're not a common wheel, not a massively common wheel to find anyway. Most people go for other styles of wheel. So the air suspension, I took inspiration from different designs, and I looked at kits, and I didn't like any of the kits that you could buy because none of them looked like they worked well to me. I mean, I'm a qualified mechanic. I've done some engineering jobs as well. I've got some engineering background. So, and I like to think I can pretty much do anything I want to put my hands to. I looked at so many different kits and I didn't like them how they were. So I thought the bags twisted and the airbags didn't sit right where when they sat down or when they went up, they were spreading out in certain areas, and it just never really looked like it was really fluid and worked really well. So I wanted to take inspiration from certain designs, but then put my own input in and make it work, basically perfect their design, which I think I've just about done, but there's some things I do want to change. The patina is partially original, partially made up, because I had to do so much work underneath the car, body dropping it and doing fully tubbed arches with bead rolls in and everything. I had to go so far up the car to chop out as much as I could to try and fit the wheels in, that it made it to the point where I had to repaint the bottom half of the car. So from the gutter line down is new paint, other than the rear wings and the roof. The rear wings and the roof are original paint, and the bonnet. But other than that, it's all new paint that I've had to try and weather into the original paint to make it look right, and you know. But when you're doing something to this magnitude, you've got to try and, I want to try and keep it looking like it had just come out of the barn, but it was completely done. So it took a lot of work to try and get it to this stage, but it's going to take a lot more work to get it to the stage where I want it. There's a long list that still needs doing to this car. It's took me so long to figure out what I want in the car and I've found so many different rare and cool parts that I want to put on the car or make for the car rather than buying them, because I'd much rather make something if I can than buying it. So if I can make something, I'll do that, and it makes it personal, makes it different. It's not something that anyone else can do because I've done it. Everything on this car is done by me. The future plans for the car, it's just go to shows, take nice drives out everywhere. I want to go to Europe with the car. I want to go to European Bug-In, Hessich and Radical Bugs and the Volkswagen factory, go around the museum and all that lot. It's a big 2-week trip. So I want to go round all that with the car, and I just want to enjoy it, you know. The biggest difficulties with this car is because everything is handmade by myself and it's got to be a certain way because I want it a certain way, I've had to do everything myself. I've had help with certain things, like my mate Jack helped me with the paintwork, getting it to the standard that I wanted it, but it's not quite to there yet, but it's getting there. We want to make it really shine. So the biggest difficulty is trying to find parts that will work, making parts that will work really well, and modifying it in a way that benefits the car and driving, but also looks cool and is stylish, and it goes with the whole theme of the car. The end result isn't really what I expected, but it's better than I expected, if that makes sense. It's actually took me by surprise a little bit how much I've fallen in love with it again, because over the years of doing the rebuild, I've had so many ups and downs with, you know, missing shows and missing all my friends and missing work and having to spend all of my money, and you know, it's been such a roller coaster. It's incredible. Well, I drove it on the road for a few years before I stripped it and rebuilt it, and I went everywhere in it. I went to shows all over the country. I did road trips with my friends. I did crazy road trips for like 4 days where we went to like 3 different shows and a meet, and you know, it was just incredible, you know, driving on the road, just not knowing where the next stop was, but just sort of jumping from show and meet to meet. And it was over about a week or so, and it was absolutely incredible, with some good friends of mine. The car's purpose is to basically go to shows and wow people at what the limits are. I wanted to break all the limits of what everyone else thought was the limit and basically change the scene if I could. But I don't think anyone's going to be able to beat that. Biggest achievement with the car up to date is probably getting an award at Skeg Vegas. I won an award not last year, but the year before, for it was actually an award that the organisers had gone over to a show in Indonesia, and it's a massive custom Volkswagen show, and they brought back a trophy with them because they got friends with the organisers over there, and they brought back this trophy and they awarded it to me because it was most like what they do in Indonesia, because they go really to the extreme of modifying the cars to exactly how they want, and it's way off the scale to what we're doing over here. This car is special because it was my first car, and I washed pots to pay for it, and I bought it for myself for my 13th birthday, and I've loved it ever since. And it was mainly the time when I had it on the road before that really made me love it, because I went everywhere in it. It was my daily. I took it to work, and it was really low for a static car. You know, I scraped it a lot and I damaged things a lot. I got stuck on speed bumps. I've got videos of me wheel spinning over speed bumps where you can see the wheel go in the arch and back down again. I don't drive it often at the minute because I'm just coming to the point where it's coming on the road. It hasn't got an MOT yet, but it's running and driving at the minute. But there's that many things that are custom on the car and different that everything needs a little tweak to get it just about right, to make it to the point where I'm happy to take it to an MOT station, get it MOT'd and all legal and everything and sorted. When people see my car, it's normally when I'm sat still because I can drop it down. I'll drive up to where I need to park up for the show and drop it, and you'll literally see people's jaws drop at the same time. It's brilliant. It's a weird and hard feeling to describe because it means so much to me, and I've had it for so long, and I've put that much time, money and effort into it that it's like nothing else at all. All of the what I've always said is all of the time, money, effort, that, you know, tears, blood, sweat, beers, everything that goes into the car, for the one day that you take it to a show and someone gives you a compliment on your car, it makes it all worth it. And you have a great weekend with your friends, and you take the car out and you go drive somewhere or whatever, and it just makes you feel amazing. Top speed is unknown at this present point in time. It's not going to be a top speed machine. It's going to be a cruiser that I can piss off some young lads in Saxos and Corsas and stuff that think they're big and clever, but I want to just show them up just for the fun of it, but then sit there at the lights and drop it as well. Future plans with car restorations. I've recently acquired a Type 2 bay, late bay, panel van twin slider, which will hopefully be on the road for next season. Maybe not quite as modified as this, but it'll be a nice daily runner, and then I've got other very low and very quirky cars in the mix that I've thought about, and lots of different designs and things, you know, different car inspirations and stuff. I'd like to say thanks to the friends that have given me help, my parents. So there's Jack Hassel, who's given me quite a lot of help and a lot of support when I've, you know, in the times when I've been feeling low because the car's not done yet and what have you, and coming around and helping me where he can, and helping me learn about how to do detailing and, you know, paint stuff that I don't really know, but Jack's more into his detailing stuff. And then thanks to my parents for putting up with all this and helping me through it all, and helping me get to where I want to be with it, and not just saying, oh no, you can't do that. And thanks to Hayburner for bringing out inspiration every year, and Skeg Vegas for having such a great show that I can go to, and it's not far from me, and you get a great variety every year. So, and the two go hand in hand, Hayburner and Skeg Vegas, and that's basically been my main inspiration every year, is what's coming out new and what's changed, what are people doing, and it's great to see all that.